everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a comparison review video of sorts on the Titanium Unlimited 140 versus the Forney Easy Weld 140 MP. Both are multi-process 110 volt welders. They've been very good welders over the time I've owned them. I do believe that one is a much better value than the other. By the way, at the end of this video, if you decide you want to pick up the Forney Easy Weld 140 MP, you can do so from the link in the description below. It is a Amazon affiliate link. I'll get a small kickback from Amazon on it, and it does cost you nothing extra. I've owned the Titanium Unlimited 140 for about, I think, around the 6-month mark, and I've owned the Forney Easy Weld 140 MP for probably around the 2-year mark. Let's go over a few specs on each of these machines. They are very, very similar machines. They have some slight differences in a few different areas. Let's go over them real quick. Both machines are 120 volt multi-process welders. Both machines also claim to have an output rating of 10 to 140 amps, so very comparable here. Both machines will do TIG, stick, flux core welding, and MIG welding. The Titanium also claims to be able to take an aluminum spool gun. It is an inverter machine. Both machines are inverter machines, and so they both run in DC electrode positive or negative. Both of these machines come weighing in at 25 pounds according to their specs. So here's where we get a little variation, and this is just their duty cycle claims. Both the Titanium and the Forney say that they will run at 90 amps within the MIG function at 30%, a 30% duty cycle. So 3 out of 10 minutes, both of these machines will run at 90 amps when MIG welding. They change up a little bit. The Forney claims 30% at 110 amps when TIG welding, where the Titanium claims 20% at 110 amps while TIG welding. The Forney also claims a 30% at 80 amps while stick welding, and the Titanium claims 40% at 75 amps while stick welding. They do vary a little bit in terms of their duty cycle, but they are very, very similar. One really interesting difference between the claims of the specs from both of these machines is that the Forney is claiming that it can do all the way up to 1/4 inch of steel. That's the thickness of the material that it claims that it can weld up to. I'm not sure which process they're talking about that in. I'm sure it's not MIG welding, because that is pretty thick for short circuit MIG welding, especially with a 110 volt welder. Comparing that to the Titanium, they're claiming 24 gauge to 1/8 inch, which to me 1/8 inch is more within that realm. Seems like when stick welding or flux core welding, you probably should be able to get closer to 3/16 of an inch. But it's interesting, same claims of output, very different claims of thickness that they are able to weld from each of the companies. On both machines, they have infinity dials in the front, which means basically that they don't have a selector switch, whether it's a tap switch or a positive stop where it rolls into the next number, so it would like roll into 5 or 6. They both have these infinity dials, so they roll really smoothly. They allow you to make fine adjustments, which is kind of a nice feature for cheap machines. Not that these are like really inexpensive, but for what they are fairly inexpensive. You might notice a few differences in the controls here. There is a third knob here on the Titanium, and this adjusts for inductance. Now, inductance doesn't make a difference in depth of fusion. It has a lot more to do with changing bead profile. Low inductance has more of a hard, rigid shape to the bead profile, where high inductance has more of a smooth bead profile. Flatter bead profile. So I usually just leave it at a 7. I follow the settings on the inside of the door here, and I find it to work just fine. I think what really matters is how you want the final product to work. I could definitely see auto body being a place where you really want to use this, but I think general fabrication, the inductance settings are somewhat irrelevant, and I'll just be completely honest here. I'm a DIY welder. I don't really have the skill for the inductance setting to make a whole lot of difference to me. I'm sure somebody that's really, really skilled in some kind of specific welding, like I said, maybe auto body or something, this might make a big difference. It might be a big selling point. Very nice feature that it's there. The other major difference, and I think this is one of the big things that sets these machines apart, is these digital displays. So just as a demonstration, just showing you the digital display here, it shows you the exact amperage or wire feed speed that you're setting this machine at. Currently I'm in wire feed welding mode, and so I can change this knob, and every so little bit of rotation on it, it changes the dial, the numbers here. which I think is a nice feature because you know exactly where you're going. Does it make or break the difference between these machines? I don't know that it is such a special feature that it should be a determining factor, but I definitely like it. I definitely prefer having it. I prefer it over just the dials here that's on the Forney with no digital display. It's definitely a preference of mine, but it is nice that those are there, and it does definitely set the machines apart a little bit. Another feature that the titanium has over the Forney here on the control area is that you can choose 4T or 2T. So essentially 2T is you take your MIG welding gun here, and when you pull the trigger, it allows wire to come out, and then when you let go of the trigger, it stops the wire from coming out. 4T, you push it once and it just runs it out. I do know that this works. I have actually used it. It has to sense that it is welding, that there is an actual arc there. It will stay on if it does have that arc. It's not going to stay on now, but that's just an example of the difference. That setting is not here on the Forney 140MP. So given that it has this inductance setting and then the 2T, 4T tap where you can change how you control the MIG gun as well as the digital setting displays, I definitely think that all those three things combined definitely set the titanium apart from the Forney quite a bit. Not that there's anything wrong with the Forney whatsoever. It does come in at a lower price point, but it is lacking some of those features for, you know, being within the ballpark of each other. And it doesn't really make or break the weld. It's definitely the welder, but I do think that these extra features are nice to have and they definitely make a difference. Both of these machines have these cast aluminum with some stamped sheet metal wire drive mechanisms on them. So both machines have some pretty good wire feed mechanisms in them. Definitely look like they came out of the same factory. Maybe they were sourced from the same place. I don't know. All right, just to get through the accessories that come with these things, which is basically all your welding tools that come out of the machine. The MIG gun that comes with the titanium is 10 feet, as well as the MIG gun that comes with the Forney. However, the electrode holder that comes with the Forney is only 8 feet, where the titanium's electrode holder is 10 feet, so they give you an extra 2 feet, as well as the ground clamp. The ground clamp on the Forney is 8 feet, where the titanium it's 10 feet. Also, the titanium comes with a TIG torch where the Forney does not, and you have to purchase that completely separately. Other things that the titanium comes with that the Forney does not is a flow meter, a 6-foot gas hose, and a 90-day warranty. The warranty on the Forney is only 30 days, but they do claim to give you a year on the internal electrical components. I don't really know exactly what those details look like. I haven't had to use the warranty and I'm way past it anyway. I'm just imagining that if this thing starts working because something got fried inside, they're going to give you a replacement in 1 year. I'm guessing everything on the outside of the green box here is only 30 days. So they might be somewhat evenly matched. Of course, you have the option to pay for the extended warranty on the titanium, which probably would not be a bad idea. Going back to the accessories, as in the MIG guns here, the MIG gun on the Forney Easy Weld 140MP uses the Euro style, which means it's going to be very easy to replace with a bunch of different aftermarket MIG guns. The titanium, I'm not versed in enough machines and styles of MIG guns to tell you if this thing works off of another machine, another platform. It could be its own proprietary setup. These MIG guns get so different outside of the Euro style from what I know that I couldn't tell you exactly what it is, but Harbor Freight's getting a lot better about providing replacement parts for their machines, so I would not be surprised if you couldn't easily pick one up inside of the Harbor Freight store. Of course, it would be nice to have access to pick it up from other places, especially if you can maybe get a higher quality one from some name brand. I have no idea. I'm sorry I don't have the information on that. I tried to compare them to some other MIG guns online, but I couldn't find anything that looked exactly like it would fit or match straight across. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to know. If you do know, please let us know in the comments below. Both machines come with the 25mm DINS plugs. I believe they are sized at 25mm. Yeah, you can change them from positive to negative, negative to positive, depending on what process you're using, what stick electrodes you're using, and whatnot. DINS plugs are very universal. It's a nice feature. A lot of, most machines these days I think are coming with them, but there are a number of less expensive machines that don't come with the DINS plugs. Both machines, when they are on, have the fan running 100% of the time. It does not kick on as the machine warms up with use. They both run 100% of the time. One last final feature that I think that both machines have that is a really big bonus in my opinion, because a lot of less expensive machines don't have this option. But it's the ability to put 10-pound spools in both machines. That saves you a ton of money on wire, so that is one bonus to both of these machines that they are definitely equal on. One more thing to talk about before I get into my opinions is the price point. Right now, what I've seen is that this machine will come in at $450. When I picked it up, it was a $399 machine. The titanium full price at Harbor Freight comes in at $550. I bet if you find it on a good sale, you might find it for $529, maybe $500. Potentially less than that. I've not really looked at sales on this thing or a coupon price or whatever on it. So, like I said, definitely within the same ballpark of price. They're within $100 of each other. All right, so here's kind of my conclusion, my opinions on these machines. They're very, very similar in a lot of ways. Probably one of the most closely comparable machines that I've ever reviewed on this channel, with maybe one exception. And I really like both machines. Like I said, I mean, this was kind of my prized possession for a little bit when I first got it. I really, really enjoyed the Forney for a long time. One nice feature that the Forney has is that you can wrap cords around it, and I definitely use that on this handle, and then a plastic handle on top. So both really good machines. I like them both. Like I said, this one has been most used in my shop, mostly because I've been wanting to get used to it to make content on it. But honestly, it's going to be the quote unquote main workhorse here in my shop. When I do welding projects, this is typically going to be the one that I pick out to weld with. The main advantages that the titanium has over the Forney is this digital display, the 2T, 4T tap switch here, the inductance settings, the longer leads with the ground clamp, and then also the stick electrode holder. Also coming with a gas hose, a gas regulator, and a TIG torch. They're giving you a ton of value there, stuff that would definitely cost a whole bunch more. If it came with the Forney machine, you'd be spending at least as much, if not more, than the titanium at full retail, assuming you're getting the Forney at full retail, which is about $450 right now. At best, that's one of the cheapest prices I found. Of course, that's on Amazon. Use the link in the description below if you'd like. One advantage I do think that the Forney has over the titanium here is this Euro style MIG gun plug. That is one bonus to it. Also, maybe just being a slightly smaller package too, though they are very, very similar in size. One other potential advantage here is the warranty and then the price point. If you know you're never going to TIG weld and don't know that you really need the gas regulator and the hose. In fact, when I think about it, the gas regulator and the hose that I bought to use this machine on with my gas cylinder and MIG welding, they would have been equally priced at this point in time had I added that on top of it. Plus you get the TIG torch for this machine too, as well as the other features. So which one should you buy? Totally up to you. I think the titanium is without a doubt a better value machine. It's the one I'd go with. So, I mean, believe me, I can make money trying to sell you the Forney off of Amazon. Harbor Freight has no way of letting me make any money off of any sales of this. So if you want to pick up the Forney, use that link in the description below from Amazon. It is an affiliate link. But I do think that the titanium's without a doubt better buy. Both machines are great. I like having both of them. Probably use both of them in the future. I don't plan on getting rid of the Forney at all. One thing for sure that I have to say I've noticed is that the welds that come out of the titanium are much, much smoother than out of the Forney. It could be totally opinion. Maybe I'm just better at setting this one up. I don't know. But I feel like that generally speaking, I get much better, much more smooth welds. Anyway, guys, really appreciate you watching. If you haven't given this video a big thumbs up, please do that. If you're not a subscriber already, go down, click subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching again. We'll see you in the next video.